Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Daily Bone Podcast. We got another kick-ass show planned for you all. We're discussing Bitcoin's dip below 59,000 United States dollars and its overnight recovery. We're also talking about whether or not Solana has bottomed. It's up 10% from its 125 price point it was at yesterday. And also, we had Memecoins.
I'm just saying. I might have said Solana bottom was in yesterday at like 120-ish, 121. I might have said, hey, I think the bottom's in, and it proceeded to rally $11. But I'm just saying, like, He's just saying, just putting it out there that I may have made a comment that the bottom's in, and now the price has gone up.
Also, yesterday's show, when we brought up Memecoins, I was such a bottom signal, dude. That was insane. I need to listen back to that show for what I was saying about Memecoins. They're all up like 20 to 50% over the last
only
24
Memecoin
hours.
I would buy right now on any chain to hold for a long term is MOG.
Wow,
that's a good one.
Yeah, MOG to a billion.
I do like that. We're also going to talk about, if we have time, rate cuts not being expected until 2025 now. We got NVIDIA just showing a lot of signs of weakness, down 11% in the last 5 days. So I'll maybe want to talk about that if we have enough time, about stocks versus Bitcoin and crypto as a whole. But we'll get into it. Easy, and I apologize to everyone for starting the show a few minutes late. Before we started the show, Easy,
I was on a shill spree. I was
just shilling.
Dude, I couldn't sleep. I've been up since like 5:45. And you know what I did, dude? I opened up the charts. I've been dealing with some shit, just going through the gutter right now. And I finally had time to get back at the desk. And I was like, all right, it's time to lock the hell in. It's time to get back on the grind. I opened up every chart you can imagine, dude. I was looking at like Cardano charts at one point. Like we got gross, dude. We got gross this morning. I feel dirty.
What did the chart say, Easy? What did the chart say? What are the TVs saying? What are we buying?
Ugly. The Cardano chart is ugly. Like still ugly. It doesn't look like it's rallied much. The near chart is really interesting to me. Really interesting. But the most interesting chart is the one I was telling you guys before the show. I was like, ton. The Telegram blockchain, that ticker is so strong right now. Like, I gotta pull up this chart because
pull it up.
All I'm doing right now is yapping. I'm on full yappuccino mode right now. We got a yappuccino in hand. We're yapping right now. All right, that's where the head's at right now. That's what we're talking about. And dude, you gotta see this ton chart though. Like, it's got a ton of bullish catalysts here.
I haven't seen Easy this fired up in a while.
I know. What kind of cop are you on, dude? Send me the brand.
Nah, this is just caffeine.
I want a
pills.
yappuccino.
This is just caffeine pills. All right, so take a look at this chart. This is the chart. When you look at the rest of the market, this thing's only up. Like, this is the most bullish chart I've seen in crypto, bar none. Like, this is absolutely ridiculous, this uptrend. Like, this is a clear uptrend. This is a clear uptrend. Like, you cannot even argue this.
Easy, what's behind this? What is driving this adoption of ton at the moment?
Those clicker games.
What is ton? What is ton?
It's the Telegram blockchain. That's it. So in Telegram, if you go into Telegram right now, right, and type in the search bar /wallet, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen. If you type in /wallet, there's a wallet app that's natively built into Telegram. Like, just plain and simple. It's just natively built into Telegram. And what you do is then you hit /start, and it creates a custodial wallet for you in Telegram that you can buy crypto with a credit card or debit card. So that's the other thing, is it's not easy to buy ton. You can shift it. There's some like online bridges and dexes that you can like move it around to. But to buy it right now, it is extremely complicated, which I'm so bullish on. Like, I'm so bullish. That's the big thing. Yeah, they want to be the WeChat of the West, which they're doing. Because now you're seeing these clicker games where people are just clicking. Just fucking clicking. That's it. They're just clicking. And there's a clicker game that's some hamster doing karate. The thing's got 4 million YouTube subs because people are looking for clues on how to get rarer stuff for their clickable hamster. Like, it is the dumbest thing in the world, but they have a core audience, and the way that people are trading these things are through the ton ecosystem, through that blockchain, without even having to know a blockchain's involved. They just see this as, they think of it more of a video game. That ton is the video game currency. They have to buy it, and they can send that to and from. Like, that's the main thing. And I look at this chart. This is a clear breakout. We're going back above 820 here. And as crazy as it sounds, I think this chart goes to $20.
Okay, so that's the caffeine pills coming in for the $20. But I like your bullishness here.
Call it crazy. I think by the end of the year, Ton is trading at $20. Like as wild as it sounds. I think I'm not saying like over the next month, 2 months, but I think given to December here, this chart easily can continue to trend. Like that's the thing. And you're going to have some parabolic moves when the election happens for everything. I did a Bitcoin chart too. And this is the one where I think Bitcoin's going to break above. Let me see. I think is it the dollar chart? Yeah, here. So this chart to me is also bullish. You have a little bit of an inverse head and shoulders here, which I'm like, this looks really good. Where I'm looking at these lows and where the middle low was higher. And now we made a higher low right here. That's actually same bar with this one. We get a breakout here off this downtrend. And oh man, we're going to absolutely cook. Like if we get a daily close back above 62K, we'll be over 70K going into September.
Yeah. I like your thesis there, and I like the chart reading there, because I definitely think going into September, like whether you're looking at the charts or you don't look at the charts, September just feels as the catalyst moment. Last Q4 of the year, I expect we're going to see equities higher, and then obviously we're going into the election. I just don't see us holding these lows in September. So I remember last week Kix was talking about the banana clicker game, and we kind of glossed over it. But when you're talking about clicker games, this is what we were alluding to last week, where it was like rare banana skins.
Well, that's on Steam though. That's not on Ton.
Okay.
So slightly different, but same idea. Millions of people are playing these games right now for whatever reason. Like that's the weird thing is these people are loving these games because you can play anywhere, desktop, mobile, Android, iPhone, you name it. And it's really easy to swap these assets with other users because it's all built in Telegram. It's inside of this one central hub. Which is why I'm like, go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt, but do you think people think of these games as crypto games, or do you think the people playing it just think of them as an in-game, which is in Telegram outside of crypto?
They just think of it as a Telegram, like an idle play game. Like that's the thing is I have friends who have been playing idle games, the same idle game for multiple years. One of my friends has been playing the same idle game for 5+ years. Just because it's like a force of habit. And that's the big thing that happens is you get these force of habits. And yeah, like there's arguments to be made that the majority of the users are bots, which is fine because those user numbers still show up. Like that's the bigger thing for me where I'm like, these bots, despite them being there, still inherently drive interest in people who are curious. Like that's where to be honest, it's going to sound bad, I guess, but I just don't give a shit if they think it's a crypto game or they just think it's a game and this is like the in-game currency. Like that's always been the thesis. Like if Fortnite V-Bucks were on chain, nobody who plays the damn game would care that it's on chain. They just want to be able to spend it and use the money. Like that's the benefit. And for Telegram, they don't call it a crypto wallet. It's just called a wallet. And the only thing they know is that Ton is the money in Telegram. That's it. It's like buying coins in a video game. They don't know that it's a cryptocurrency. They don't have to know. They don't have to write down a seed phrase. They log into their Telegram. You have 2FA on. To them, it's like, this is just points in a video game.
Yeah.
I love that.
I want to talk about, yeah.
So Clemente, it kind of reminds me of the games I always used to see people do when I was commuting, and they're just on their mobile and they were playing Candy Crush, and it's just something to kill the time for like the next 30 minutes of your commute. And that's what it feels like. And even though it's a small game, I would see this, like, for example, Candy Crush, I would see everywhere on people's mobiles. So it feels like this is the kind of game you're talking about, Easy, that people will just go into Telegram, play for 30 minutes and then stop it once they get outside of their commute, or like however they want to play the game. And the reason why I'm asking that is do people think about it as a crypto game? I think it's much more bullish if people don't think of it like that and they're just playing the game to play it because they enjoy it and then they get on with their day.
100%. I mean, dude, my mom still plays Candy Crush to this day. It's how she ends every single night. Like that's just what she does. Like it's a force of habit though. It's a habit forming situation where you just go, it like lets you not think for a few minutes. And that's a huge win for a lot of people, is just to be able to sit there and just do something monotonous to kind of center themselves. And that's what these games are reminding me of. And that inherently is a bull case for a lot of it. Like we have so many Web3 and crypto games right now where there's too much thought. There's too much that goes into it, too much strategy. It's too confusing. Imagine trying to explain Wolf Game to somebody right now. You got to wait for a new cave to open up and buy wool and buy a headlamp and a gold shovel, but not the silver shovel. It has to be the gold shovel. versus, hey, put $5 into this wallet and go click the hamster's stomach until it starts to giggle. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, great.
Totally, 100% agree. And it's interesting that the momentum that we're seeing is on the gaming side, whilst the actual crypto gaming ecosystem is having a little bit of like a subdued moment, which, you know, Kix was saying it's going to come back like October, November time, but we're seeing Ton just go completely against that. So I like this. When you see games like this go against the trend of the rest of the market, it means that there's something there and it's grabbing attention for a reason. So yeah, okay. You've got my interest, Easy. You've got my interest. I'm going to look at it. I'm going to look at these games. In terms of the token, how do you go about getting it?
So you have to buy it from Telegram or swap it on like a side shift, simple swap, something like that. There's no easy way to buy it, which I'm bullish on. Like that's the thing, is like friction is bullish, because if it gets on Coinbase or crypto.com, the top's probably in. We saw it with WIF. We've seen it with some other things. When it becomes too easy to buy, that's the hard part. So if you want to get involved, go into your Telegram and literally just type in /wallet, like / whatever it is. Nick yells at me for that all the time. You're going to see a thing that has this little character that looks like a bot icon, and then wallet. And the wallet app has a blue check next to it, meaning it's verified. So that's the only way to know that it's the real one. And when you click it, the first thing it says is simplify payments, instant and free transfers, as easy as sending as a message. What can this bot do? It stores, sends, and exchange crypto assets inside Telegram. When you press start, it just makes a wallet. And then all it does is it pops up and says your wallet is set and ready. You can then open it. And what it'll do is takes you to a mini app, which you have to agree because obviously it's out of Telegram, just to show you that. And you can then buy the crypto right there. It's wild how straightforward it is. It's 2 commands. Wallet to find the wallet, start to start the wallet, and then you just click open and you're ready to go. And then once you're in there, they do offer a bunch of other stuff as well. So like right now there's a bonus for USDT that sits in the wallet. So like some people are doing APY farming on it. I think you get 50% right now on it. So they're like hyper incentivizing people to use the wallet and get some funds in there. But this has been the easiest onboarding I've ever seen for a crypto wallet.
Okay, well, we like easy onboarding.
I see Adkins advice asking here too. When you type in the search bar /wallet, you need to click on the wallet. It'll open up a set message with the wallet. So as if you're DMing the wallet. In that message, you /start. And that's it. You're good to go.
Let's go. Boom. I actually want to do a deep dive on it with Ton Easy. We'll do a future segment on the show. We'll talk about it a little bit more. We got we're like 15 minutes in the show and it's been all Ton, which I love. Easy was fired up this morning. The comments are electric. I'm seeing people comment all about how Easy's getting them excited. They needed excited Easy. So we're going to kick off the weather report in just a second. It's going to be a kick-ass show. But before we do, I want to give a quick shout out to shop.bodogos.com. I'm going to try to do some here. Check this out. Yo, everyone, 4th of July, Independence Day is coming at you next week. And to kick it off, we are doing the Bodogos Independence Day drop. You want your beer, you want your barbecue, you want your glizzies? There's no better way to celebrate America with your freedom t-shirt by shop.bodogos.com. Go to get your Rough Rider t-shirt for $40. Only a 51 supply at shop.bodogos.com. Bodogos, 30% discount. It's going to be live tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern. Hell yeah, brother. God bless America. Let's go. Shop.bodogos.com. Go check it out. 30% discount for all Bodogos holder. 51 supply each. Go check it out, baby. Let's go. Sorry, guys. I got very excited there. I wanted to do a little riff with some music there. Signal,
there was no music.
Yeah, you guys didn't hear anything.
That? There was no music.
No.
What do you mean? When you said music, I'm like, brother, there was not a single sound.
That was just a monologue by Clemente with no sound.
It was just you sounding like a shitty version of Hulk Hogan.
Someone said that. What is this? Make-A-Wish Hulk Hogan. Please, if you're listening on Twitter, did you hear that music? Because I literally just embarrassed myself. Wow.
What song did you have in mind?
Fortunate Son. I was playing Fortunate Son by Creedence Clearwater Revival. I was going hard and I was hearing it. That was the energy I was giving out. No, the Twitter space must have heard that. But wow, that's embarrassing. Okay. Wow. Okay, let's get the show on the road. I don't want to do this anymore. Signal.
It's all good.
No
Commander.
music
It's all good.
anywhere.
We got you. We got you. Luckily, we have music for the weather report. Let's get into it. It's Tuesday. It's June 25th. We're looking at the crypto rundown on Bitcoin. Bitcoin is back up over 60K to 61,000. Ethereum is at 3,370. And Solana up 8% to $138. We're out of the bottom. The mover of the day, though, is PopCat on Solana. That is up almost 70% on the day. What? To 430 million. Must be in the top 100 market cap, both positive or negative mover. Over the post 24 hours, top 3 stories. Well, Bitcoin temporarily dumped over 5% below 59,000 for the first time since May 2nd, before an overnight recovery to 61K. The Bitcoin ETFs experienced one of their biggest red candles since their January launch and did not react well. They saw over 170 million in outflows, the biggest outflow day since May 1st. Despite Bitcoin's weakness, Solana showed major strength off its lows at $125 and is up 7% on the day to $137. Secondly, following Solana's green candle, the meme coin saw a massive recovery yesterday after a few weeks of down only, with the majors like Whiff, Bonk, Brett, they're all up over 15%, and Mog on a tear up 24%, and even Runes over on Bitcoin were pumping as well, led by $1 billion cat up 60% to 54 million. Runes are not here to die. And then finally, Blast announced the launch of the Blast Foundation, which was created to support the community in achieving the Blast vision. As a highly anticipated TGE, it's happening tomorrow, guys. Multiple unknowns still need to be resolved, like the 3.5 million gold jackpot. What's going to happen to this 3.5 million gold? It's the end of the Blur Season 3 and more. Regardless, all the dApps have fully distributed their gold. The multipliers have been locked. That is it. Tomorrow is TGE Day. That is all for the weather report. It is back to you folks in the studio.
Let's go. Thank you, Signal. So the Twitter, just to clarify, put an end to this. The Twitter Spaces did hear the music. They heard the music, so they got the enhanced experience, but they weren't very impressed by it. Is the problem. So it might be better that the stream people didn't hear the overall experience. Guys, I wanted to do some spontaneous and it didn't work out. But let's cover some of the news that was covered in the weather report and also in our newsletter. Go subscribe at bodagos.com. We had Grails 5 go live on at Sotheby's. This ends today. This auction ends today at 2:15 p.m. Eastern. It has a bunch of gold Bored Apes. We got some pudgy penguins in here. The major noteworthy thing here is basically all of these, like pudgy penguins, are like 40% below their floor price on Blur. We also have this mutant. The current bid for a gold skinned or gold fur mutant is $7,000, which is massively below the floor. Easy, are you surprised by this, the lack of action on this Sotheby's auction right now? Would you bid on any of these?
So I am actually looking at a Sotheby's auction, but it's not for a penguin. It's for a gold mutant. Yeah.
Which one?
That's the one I'm really interested in. That one right there. Yeah, that one. Yeah, that's the one I'm really interested in. I just got to figure out how to do the KYC stuff for it, to be honest, because that's the one I'm really interested in. They have it listed between 1 and 2,000, but I think this thing is still a steal, under 10K. That's where I'm it's pretty interesting. It closes in about 5 hours. So I may throw a bid on it. I'm kind of figuring out what I want to do. I think also just kind of being able to be I bought this from Sotheby's is kind of cool. That's just kind of fun. But I think those penguins will end up going higher than the Blur for personally, just because of what it is. People like that Sotheby's stamp for whatever reason. What's more concerning though is they have the other side plot listed, and that's yikes.
So we're referring to the Sotheby's auction right now happening. This is Grails 5. I believe this is from the Stars. What was it called?
Three Arrows Capital.
Three Arrows Capital. This is their wallet or the NFTs that they held. They've been doing a lot of these, and recently, this auction has been flying under the radar. And Easy's referring to a gold M1 for mutant ape that has a current bid of $7,000. Which is basically 2 ETH, a little less. The current floor for these on Blur is 5.5 ETH. So if you get this easy, it's a fat ass discount. Honestly, us maybe airing it out on the show probably won't help.
It's probably not helping me wanting to bid on this in any capacity. And now we'll probably get closer to that 5 floor, which I'm out. I don't want to spend 15. If you can get it for 10, absolute home run. That's what there's actually a couple steals in this Grails if you know what to look for. Some of the other art blocks that are in there are really interesting to me. Those are more illiquid, but I do think the Pudgies will end up going higher. I think these Matt Fury pieces also very interesting to me. I mean, yeah, like you look at some of these. That Yuga Labs land is terrible though. These
I
things
can't
are
believe like just
$300, dude.
seeing their
Yikes.
estimate at $400 is so wild to me. It's so wild to me. Sotheby's historically does kind of lowball their estimates for their auctions because they want to say like, hey, we raised above, and they want to kind of incentivize that bidding that they all their things reached above their expected price. But yeah, there's a lot of deals to be had here. This thing ends today.
Also, as well, but you need to take into account the fee that will be on that as well. Easy, just so if you're thinking like, you know, I don't know, 10K, you probably want to add a little bit more to that. But yeah, I don't know. You must really want a gold one, Easy. I feel like, yeah, I mean,
if you can want one.
No,
sorry.
No, I was going to say, if you can buy a rare one, surely like going OTC with someone in the market that you trust, rather than going through Sotheby's and having to pay the fee. I just feel like you could probably find a bit of a better bargain, perhaps.
Probably, but at the same time, it's also just like that stamp of approval is like kind of cool that like you got something from Sotheby's. You know what I mean? Like you get the documentation from it, you get the paperwork, all that other fun stuff of you just being like, you won this lot, which in itself is cool. But then at the same time, it's like now you have an emotional attachment to the damn thing because like, oh, this was the Sotheby's ape I bought. And when apes get down, or when mutants get down to 1 and apes are at 5, do I really want to still be holding this damn thing? Not really. So like, well, I'm back and forth a lot on it.
The provenance obviously is the fact that it came from 3 arrows rather than it came from Sotheby's. That's like, that for me is like the provenance of why you would want to hold a gold ape. But hey, man, go for it. All the action will be in the last couple of minutes. So keep an eye on it. Could be quite kind of boring for now, but yeah, keep an eye for the last 30 minutes. Could get a good deal.
Absolutely. Next news piece that's trending in the last 24 hours. Let's briefly talk about Blast. We're nearing the 24-hour countdown for the Blast TGE. Obviously, they announced the Blast Foundation yesterday that's going to carry on the Blast vision, which they're revealing tomorrow. We had all dApps fully distribute their gold, except for Blur, which has 2 million gold still to give out. We have a bunch of unknowns. We have 3.5 million gold in the jackpot. We have a lot of just polarizing stances on Blast. Some people really enjoy it. Obviously, there's bag bias there. There's people that don't like it. I think we're going to expect a lot of announcements today from Pac-Man. But just in general, Signal, how are you feeling about Blast as a whole right now? What are your expectations going into this TGE tomorrow?
My emotions are calm, Clemente. It's like when you reach the final of Wimbledon, I've just become like Roger Federer. I'm just like nerves like this, just totally indifferent to whether I lose or whether I win. Look, I mentioned it the other day. I feel like, you know, we put in the hours, we put in the work. What happens now is like the multipliers are locked. Everything's locked. The gold has been distributed. We know where BTC is. It's not going to go to 70K tomorrow. If there's a surge between now and tomorrow, great. Fingers crossed there would be. But even if it isn't, I don't think we're going to hit the lows, but I don't think we're going to hit the highs either. I think we're going to hit somewhere in the middle. And I just feel like I do think at the end of this, people who didn't participate in farming will have FOMO across the timeline. But what I'm more interested to see is whether the people who did invest their time think it's been worth it for the last, what feels like 5 months, if not a little bit longer, because we bridged last year. And that is going to be very indicative of whether the current participants continue for season 2 and whether new participants come in. That is actually what I'm more interested in.
I'm not selling my Blast airdrop day 1.
I agree with that. Tell me more.
Yeah, like I don't want to sell any of it. Look at how Blur's traded the last 2 times, season 1 and season 2. Initial sell-off into a rally once people realize like, oh shit, this actually has some legs. And if you think that like Blast isn't going to be similar, they just announced the Blast Foundation too, which gives a separate entity. I think because they probably got an SEC probe, not surprising. We've obviously seen similar things from other marketplaces that have done tokens. I think if we do have vesting in some capacity, you will see a sprint for the exit from those that just try to capitalize on some to recoup costs. But then I think inevitably you will see some more sustained buy pressure. I hope. That's kind of the hope here, especially if they incentivize people to continue to stay in the Blast ecosystem. There's still like some other things I'm really curious about. Like the biggest win would be if they somehow flipped a switch so that the Blast token is what's used for gas instead of ETH. Like that would be really interesting. There hasn't been any sort of indication of this, nothing. And that's where I'm like, okay. But that's where like my hopium pants come on, and I'm like, maybe we get this, and maybe that is the saving grace that we get is a nice rally because you have to use Blast, the token, for gas, which would be awesome. And I assume many people are probably going to sell first day. Even like I just look at the Blur price action, and the best thing to do during Blur season 1 and 2 was wait 6 to 12 hours after TGE and back up the Brinks truck. Like that was hands down the best trade because then it rallied. Season 1 it rallied like 200%. Season 2 rallied 150%, and you had a beautiful exit where you could ride the rest free. Like I've had staked Blur still that's a 0 cost basis.
Yeah, it'd be easy. I feel like that was also, just to be the devil's advocate on this, I feel like that was also a different time in the market. And we have continuously seen that for the last few airdrops, these L2s that have come in, like selling at the beginning was the right thing to do in this current like last 3 to 4 months. And a lot of people who've staked have actually taken massive losses. So I don't think we're comparing apples to apples in the same environment that we were when Blur launched, and things do feel different right now.
For sure. And the market's definitely more bearish, I would say right now. But the thing is, if the market continues to rally right now and the bottom is in, it's going to lift the entire ecosystem. Like not just Blast, but all of crypto. So that's where I'm like, why not just hold on to this if we are starting to see a reverse in the trend, this downtrend we've had? Because what like rising tide lifts all boats here, and Blast is a boat. So I think we will end up seeing it continue to get a couple legs here. That's just my thought. And maybe I'm terribly wrong, but at the end of the day, like I'm up on Blast. That's the thing. Like I left Fantasy Top with just shy of 5 ETH in profit. So in Pac Moon, I did lose capital on. That was like the worst trade I had in this, hands down. But like the rest of the ecosystem, I've been profitable. Even YOLO games, I ended up leaving in the green despite a $62 airdrop from the YOLO token. Fucking hell. But other than that, like overall, my Blast experience has been net green. So for me, this airdrop is free money. Like plain and simple, it's free capital.
Yeah, and so what you're referring to basically, Easy, is so you're going to hold. And I've actually seen a few people talk about the strength that happens a lot of the times that happened with Blur. Obviously, we're in a different environment. Also happened a little bit with a lot of these airdrops, actually, where they see that massive sell-off of people rushing to take profits and then this recovery afterwards. What I'm very curious to see is actually if I see a lot of Blast gold farmers that literally lost like tens of thousands of dollars trying to farm this gold. And they have, 10, 20, 30,000 gold, if not more, but they took like a 5 ETH loss, right? So that's going to be the big thing I'm interested in. And then whether or not Pac-Man can create a real like wealth effect to like get people to spend their ETH or their Blast in the Blast economy, to keep it in there, because if he manages to do that, and a lot of these dApps, we see more incentives. I think Pac Moon, you see Fantasy Top, you see Wolf Game, a lot of these become interesting again, and we could see a nice little run on there. But at some point, there is a point where you have to take profits. So we'll see. 24 hours. Maybe a little bit more, but tomorrow is the expected TGE.
Do we have a time for it?
No, we don't know anything. We don't know anything. We don't know. The other kind of wrench in here is also the Blur ecosystem, like what that's going to look like, how Pac-Man's going to like close that off and kind of move on to the next chapter. What Blur farming season 4 is going to be like. Is there going to be an NFT bridge over to Blast? How, like, all of these things are unknowns. There's like 6 or 7 things that, depending on how Pac-Man hits on all of them, could be either very bullish or pretty bearish for Blast as a whole. So we'll see if it plays out. Keep an eye out for Pac-Man's Twitter. I don't want to keep riffing on this. We'll cover more on it tomorrow, but certainly a lot to watch for in the Blast ecosystem. The last piece of news that I wanted to discuss for today was Dex Screener launching a pump.fun competitor called Moonshot. Easy. I saw you tweet about this yesterday. And before I throw over to you, because you were pretty excited about it, we had a bread guy, friend of the show, very analytical Twitter. Kind of highly recommend you guys follow him at OX Bread Guy. He tweeted out that Moonshot has launched 8 times more tokens than Pump.Fun yesterday. Did you use Moonshot at all?
I haven't used it yet. I have not used it at all. I probably should. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't trade anything yesterday. I just kind of let it play out. A lot of people were saying that these tokens were not hitting radium, which was the issue.
Got it.
Like that was just kind of what was going down, was like a lack of radium yesterday, which caused a lot of people to be like, maybe this isn't it, but we'll see. I mean, this is a win for everybody just trading meme coins in general. Like that's how I look at it, is like, if you now have 2 platforms competing against each other, somebody has to innovate. Somebody has to do something new to either gain user retention or keep user retention. It's like the same battle we're seeing right now with BullX and Photon. Photon was the only trading option. BullX came out of nowhere, gave an insane referral system, and now a vampire attack on like their points after Photon only gave like top traders rewards for their first airdrop or stimmy, whatever you want to call it. And that in itself was like, it caused a lot of people to shift to BullX. So you're going to see innovation where like the users win here, where whichever one of these continues to get people interested and gain some level of market share, that's who's going to win. Plain and simple.
Got it. Yeah, makes complete sense. We'll see. I haven't used it either, but I thought it was interesting. And this competition now is like, it's bullish ultimately for the end user when you start seeing these 2 competitors start working with each other after Pump.Fun was just printing fees the last few months. So the big thing I want to talk about today in terms of the broader picture is Bitcoin. And Bitcoin, more importantly, actually comparative to Solana. Easy. We talked a little bit about this yesterday, but Bitcoin was nasty yesterday. It looked real bad. It dumped below 59K. Bitcoin analyst Joe Consorti was looking, he was kind of ringing the alarm bells of like, hey, we've broken past 2 support levels. The last one that I like, if this breaks, we're absolutely toast, was 57,500. And overnight, we saw a nice little Bitcoin rally. Before we talk about Solana and kind of the potential of altcoin summer here, Easy. Do you think Bitcoin has bottomed? I know you briefly talked about it on the while we were introing the show, but what's your take here?
Yeah, the bottom's in. Bottom's in. I think the bottom's in across the board right now. Like the whole market whenever the market continues to beg for lower lows, even myself, I was like 58K seems reasonable. 52K if we break under that. We didn't break under it. We've now rallied back above 60. I think bottom's in, and I think, like I said, through September, we'll see 70K right around the election. Like that's my thesis. I think we go even higher into the end of the year. Maybe we chop above 70K for an extended period of time. I don't know if we're going to see under 60K again. Maybe briefly, if we consolidate in this range, just briefly. But like a lot of people are calling for 52s, 54s, and I'm like, I think the bottom's in. I think the lows we saw yesterday are the lows of this current rally, plain and simple. And maybe it changes if we get some bad news, for sure. Like that's always a thing here. If you're trading this market, you have to be able to adapt. You have to be able to pivot. You have to be able to understand what's going on and be able to be flexible in your thesis. But right now, signs are pointing to price go up, in my opinion. Like that's the big thing for me. And I think that's across the board. Like that's why I'm so bullish on something like Ton, which didn't sell off despite the sell-off. It's why I'm bullish on something like Near, which barely sold off when Solana has a 20% down day, you know? And now Sol back above 130. I'm like, damn, that looks great. Like that is a really strong rally, where yesterday, the daily close, Sol was green. Like, yeah, that's the other thing. I see D Brizzle in the comments talking about the Mt. Gox news. When the news gets shared to the public, it's priced in. Like it's priced in. As soon as that news is shared widely, it's priced in. Like that's it. Now that news can't break again. So we have that sell pressure behind us. Why would I not want to be a buyer here? And the big thing is, like, we get a daily close over like 64, 65K. We're officially out of a downtrend. Like we're back in an uptrend on a wider time scale. And that's what I look at, is just like, keep it as simple as possible, where you just look at certain trend lines and that's it. Boxes of buy zones, which I did on my Sol chart almost to a T. I will say that Sol chart with those 3 boxes was a little too accurate. I'm just saying. I was like, we break under here. This is it. I don't think we break under this third one. I think these are the upside targets. And that still holds. Like this Bitcoin chart to me is really interesting. I like where the price action is, especially because we did not make a new low. down at that like 50. Sorry, I'm just taking like 56K area. We stayed above that. So to me, that's a good sign. If we had made a new low, then I'm like, okay, yeah, we're going lower. So now it's a matter of like slowly start to take a nibble here, start to maybe buy a couple things you like. I wouldn't say full port just yet until we resume the uptrend. And you'll never time every top and every bottom, which is part of the game. It's like start to feel comfortable on where you can DCA. And if we start to break down more, slow down on it or put a pause on it until we find another bottom, and then you can turn it back on. But any of this stuff, especially in choppy markets where summer session's slower and lower volume, just take small swings. Base hits, score runs too, and a lot of people overthink that.
A lot of walks, right?
A lot of walks, hit by pitches.
Yeah.
You know, a couple brawls on the infield. All of it could lead to a run or two, you know?
Do you think so? Signal, I want to throw over to you as well, but I want to kind of shift a little bit to Solana. I was very impressed by the strength Solana showed yesterday. It's up 10% from its $125 bottoms. Right now, it's back up to 137. I was reflecting yesterday, Easy, and my thought process was: is there an environment where Bitcoin chops at like this 60 to 65K range? It just doesn't really do much. But can Solana kind of see a little bit of a score? Can Solana hit like $200 with Bitcoin still under like 70K was what I was thinking about. Just the last piece of data on this, though, is I was looking at that run we saw from Solana back in October to December. And Solana went from $24 to $121. It's basically just a clean 5X. Bitcoin during that time, though, also had a 50% gain. Any thoughts there on what I laid out?
Bitcoin chops over 60K in the 64 to 66, 68 region. Sol goes back to 170. So like that's still a nice $40 move from here. Mm-hmm. We don't see 200 until Bitcoin is above 70.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, that's purely just overall market structure. We don't see it until Bitcoin gets back up there.
Any thoughts here, Signal?
No, it's interesting because Easy said these targets last Friday, because I was joking with him saying what's going on with the weather over there for you to be so bearish, and it's exactly hit what he was calling for. But also at the same time, these pullbacks, like, you know, for me, like whether you're buying Bitcoin at 58, 64 or 70, it just feels like this range that we're just going to have to test over from now until September. So it really depends what you're doing. If you're investing for the long term, it feels like this is still a good range. If you're trying to trade these swings, I mean, personally, that's obviously a lot more difficult, but it's also a good period to be doing it because I don't think we're going to be seeing below 58. I was listening to your show, Easy, can't remember who was talking about it, but it was calling for 50. And I just think when people start, and then when people start saying I'm buying Bitcoin at 50, it just feels like, well, what's going to be the catalyst event to send us a lot lower? It feels like, okay, we've got the Mt. Gox news. So like, what else would it be, given we know where interest rates are potentially heading? So I feel for now, if we're in this like 57 to 64 range, 67 range, it's good. It's good. It's just a nice time to accumulate and just wait for the market to hit that catalyst event. But I think calling for 50 right now, it feels a bit aggressive.
Don't overthink it. Like, don't overthink it. It's like, that's the wildest part. Also, someone asked if I'm still in HBAR. Yeah, I have a lot of HBAR. That's I don't know what my love is with HBAR, but I've never been able to break away from it. I love that stupid ticker so damn much for some reason. I just think it's a corporate blockchain. You have Boeing and LG on the board. That's one of the alts I like. I buy a small amount every single day. I'm talking like $10 to $15. It's that's my swing where I'm like, if it goes to $1, I'm filthy rich. If it doesn't, life goes on. Like
that's your file coin.
That's my file
the equivalent of your file coin.
Yeah, except this is at like 7 cents and Nick's is at like $7. So like one of us is taking, like, I could buy one file coin or, a couple thousand HBAR. That's last cycle. I'm just saying it went to like 60 cents. So like if we make new all-time highs on this damn thing, I'll take a 10x any day. That's, but that's you always got to have one of those things. One of those, if it goes to $1, I'm a millionaire type of plays. Some people's it's Doge, some it's SHIB. Mine is this terrible decision that it's Hedera.
So Easy and Signal. We saw, like I was sharing earlier during the show, we basically, yesterday's show was the Pico bottom of at least a temporary bottom on memes here on Solana's.
It was the bottom on memes.
I mean, look at this. We have Popcat up 64%.
Yesterday's show was the bottom, Clemente. It was the bottom. I'm telling you with confidence, it was the bottom. Please don't market. Don't let this words bite me in the ass.
I don't think it was the bottom, Easy. We're only in June. We're only in June, and I'm telling you, though, we have to. Americans need to go on holiday. I know you guys don't take any holidays, but surely you're going to take at least one day.
Have you heard what we do in America? We give unlimited vacation days, so nobody takes vacation. You have unlimited days, but it's a psyop, so you don't take the days because you feel bad about taking it so much. The job I worked at before this had this one woman. She took off 6 months over the year because it was unlimited, and they couldn't let her go because it was part of the system. So like every other week she was off. I was baffled, absolutely flabbergasted. It was the only person I've seen take advantage of it.
She was clearly European. She has European blood in her somewhere. Somewhere that woman has European blood in her. She wasn't American.
She only worked 6 months and got a full-time salary. All right. So I don't know.
But I don't think the bottom is in. No, I don't think the bottom is in for meme coins. I still think we're too we're towards the end of the month of June, like grinding out August, July. I still think there's a potential to see a bit of a pullback on some of these tokens.
So meme coins in general, I think the overall market has bottomed. Solana, Bitcoin, ETH, some of these other tickers. I think that bottoms in across every single major and alt right now. I think right now meme coins, they're different. That's the thing. They're way more volatile. So yes, one may make a new low and then rally to a new all-time high. You know what I mean? Like they're way more volatile where like I don't think they're only going to be downtrending anymore. I think we're going to see significantly more volatility across the board with them. I think we're going to see many make new all-time highs. I don't care about existing meme coins. I do not care. I have zero interest in them. The opportunity and risk reward profile on most of them is significantly lower than finding new coins, like way lower, especially with things like Moonshot and Pump Fund being live. There's no reason that you shouldn't be looking for tokens that are 100K and lower to rally to 300, 400, 500K and just take those chips off the table. That's like you have.
It sounds easy in theory.
It's not.
It sounds easy in theory, but this is what we just discussed this, like, I think it was yesterday, how you get chopped up, and this is where you lose the money. I think also as well, you're extremely good at this. Like, this is really like your
That's my home. That's
your home. And I think other people who try to follow you into your home get the door slammed in their face and chopped up so hard. I think the older tokens, when you see a pullback on this, there's so much capital and attention still invested in them. It's really hard to say that whip is just going to go away and it's not going to come back. All you need is Ansem to come back into the timeline, start tweeting about it again. And, many other names on that list. Like personally, if I was to see like another day like we had yesterday, I'd feel much more comfortable buying the older ones than getting chopped to death in the newer ones on Moonshot or Pump.Fun.
For sure. I think you are right there. But then in that case, it's like you need to find 1, 2, 3 good tickers. Like that's why start of the show I said I'd only buy Mog. That's the only one I'm interested in from like existing, because I think it has a clear path to $1 billion market cap, which right now is a 2x, and yesterday was sub 500 million. Like that is one where I'm like really interested because it looks like it's clear to $1 billion. It's got outside interest. Mogging is a whole like cultural movement at this point. That one's interesting to me. Whiff, I'm sorry, but I don't care about it. I do not care about it. There's so many dog tokens that I think have better risk return on it, where we saw Whiff go to $4 a token, and there goes your inherent small unit bias. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing here where you look at Floki's more interesting than Whiff to me because of how low the total number of tokens are. What I think is going to actually happen here from memes is I think ETH, Base, and Blast meme coins have a season before we start to see another crazy Solana rally with like a dog with hat. I think a Blast meme coin post TGE will launch and go to $500 million market cap. Personally, I think that's what we're going to see. I think another base token breaks 500 million pretty easily at some point. And I think ETH meme coins get another life cycle here because so many people have gone to Solana, and to your guys' point, have gotten chopped out and chopped to high hell on these like sub 100K trying to chase the 200K market caps, that now the rest of the ecosystem is waking up and other chains are like, we got to figure something out. I just saw a Polygon DApp launch that's very similar to Pump Fund called When Market. I've seen some of these other ecosystems start to launch similar, and things like Base and Blast with low gas can do this exact same thing that Pump Fund's doing fairly easily. So I think we will start to see tokens on these other ecosystems where other people are going and get legs and get some market share. Runes, that shit's too slow, man. No one's got time for that garbage.
So on Solana, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
I just want to ask, so do you think WIF gets dethroned and an older one takes over, or do you think it will be that like the narrative is new ones that have not been launched, specifically on Solana?
New ones that haven't been launched, personally. The tough thing is like WIF's value is so high because of that $1.90 token price. Like that, a meme coin at $1.90 is crazy. I'm interested in Epic a little bit here. Like that's one I'm always interested in because for some reason Mando loves the damn duck. Never stops with the damn duck. Duck to a buck has been said so many times that like at this point you just want to believe it. You want to believe in something. You want to have a little bit of heart in the game. And that's one where I'm like, yeah, you just need a little bit of heart. That's the one. So shit, duck to a buck, maybe. I like it. That's a 10x, 100x from here. You know, like that's fucking crazy. And if Mando keeps doing Mando things, it could happen. You've seen crazier things happen. But yeah, that's
it feels like one. It feels like the ones that you're talking about will be a case of if Bitcoin goes up, it lifts all boats, yes, rather than one having an individual catalyst event. That's what I feel like. So Epic definitely sounds like it's in that tide. That if everything's going up, then it's going up with it. And I think that's probably a good way of thinking about how to place your bets. If everything is going up, which ones? I'm like, okay, that's going to have the conviction to get the attention to go up with everything else. For me, this is just, you know, for me, but like new ones are so much harder. I think they're so much harder. Yeah. And I think you need to really have your sort of like specialist skill set of being able to identify the low caps.
It's called being a degenerate and not having a life. It's called sitting at your desk and not leaving and just staring at the 1 minute chart and watching what happens. Because these devs are selling on you, these insiders are selling on you, everyone's selling on you, and you just gotta try to time it and get out before they do. And it's much easier said than done, for sure, absolutely. And that's where I'm like, listen, it's where I like to trade personally. I love micro caps. It's why I don't tweet about them though, because one tweet can send it, which is like the most messed up market you can possibly be in. If you don't have the ability to sit at your desk and just stare at the damn thing, then yeah, you should be looking like Nub is really interesting. That's part of the larger tides lift all boats. Those guys meme nonstop. They're always on the timeline. I see them 24/7. Epic, same conversation. When I look at things that are just like, oh man, look at that rhombus breakdown. That's pretty rough. Yikes.
All right, get out of
Yikes.
Here. So we have, let's just say, so I think that when we get into like micro caps and all that stuff, like it gets very like in the weeds. I'm more open to like, if I were to like talk to my mom or my sister, or a friend of mine that was like, hey, I want to get into meme coins, what would be some of the recommendations? Like if you were to build a basket of 5 meme coins, right, and give them
ask
like
your
proper
sister
exposure.
if she knows what mogging is. If she says, then yes, buy mog.
So buy mog. Okay.
Done.
Mog at 500 mil. What else?
Going to $1 billion, 2x. That's all. We're not looking like when they're that big, it's tough to be like mog to 4 billion. You know what I mean? Like that's crazy. That's crazy.
But the goal is wait, just to say, Clemente, the goal is not to lose your family's money. So you're not trying to get a 10x for your sister here. You're trying to get her into crypto and to make a little bit of money. I would throw in Pepe in there because I feel like it has enough attention, and I don't think my brother or sister would lose money in that case. That would be my number 2 for the portfolio.
We got Pepe, we got Mog. What about something like, I mean, we got to get her some Solana exposure. Is it Dog with Hat or Bonk?
It's Bonk. It's absolutely Bonk.
Wow.
Like Bonk is the one. Dog with Hat is just like, it's a narrative shirt. Dude, just take a damn look at what the hell is going on with Bonk. Like that's just a straight up business at this point. Like, that is like, that's not even a meme coin, dude. They sponsor stuff. Dude, the BitBoy fight that just happened, Bonk was everywhere. Dude, they were at Coachella or EDC Vegas. They had a giant Bonk inflatable. Like, these guys are just out here. And this also has higher lows. Look at that higher low. That's a nice chart. That's a really nice chart on the yearly. Like, that's a really nice chart. I would go bonk just because like, bonk's not going to rug. They're not going anywhere. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I look at here.
So we got bonk, we got Pepe, we got Mog. Let's throw one more in there. Should we give her some runes exposure? Should I get her on some dog?
Do you hate your sister?
All right. We got to throw one more in there because this is actually very interesting.
Go with the political coin. Let's get weird into the election. You got to go with
MAGA or Bowden.
I mean, yeah, you almost got to go with MAGA, the Trump ticker, just because that's what's going to drive the news narrative. Bowden's kind of like a counterculture play here. My issue though is unit bias. This is so high.
Yeah,
872.
Yeah, we have to include some base meme coins as well. Like I feel like we can't ignore the attention that is over on there as well. So we got Brett, you got Chomp, you got Keycat, you got Benji. There's some choices out there. I feel like one of those definitely needs to be in there from the base ecosystem.
You got to go Brett, despite it being completely manipulated and owned 90% by the team. They haven't dumped on your head yet. So they haven't dumped on you yet. You may as well join them.
So I quickly want to talk about runes and dog. I know I dumped and all of Rune's Twitter was coming after me yesterday for saying I sold all of my runes. Despite that, I do think dog go to the moon is interesting as it's not that I'm fading runes. Actually, I actually think runes are interesting on the beta play to Bitcoin, but I just rather hold Bitcoin because I already have so much risk with Solana meme coins. I don't want to add Bitcoin meme coins on top of it. And I know the big bull case is like, look at Bitcoin's market cap. We're going to unlock this economy. My issue with that is most people I talk to actually don't want to spend their Bitcoin. That's kind of my downside with it. So look, I think dog go to the moon is at 580. You got to match that up with Mog, right? At the same market cap. And I don't know. It is interesting if runes can get some sort of traction there as a beta play to Bitcoin. Every time Bitcoin pumps, runes do seem to pump as well. So we'll see, but I don't know if I want to just place all of my trust in basically Leonidas being the leader of dog go to the moon and continue to pump this thing. There is performance risk in that. It's
also as well. I'm not. It's nothing against runes. I'm the context is a little sister who wants to go and do meme coins, and you just want to be able for them to download an app really quickly on their phone for them to see that they've made money or they've lost money. And it's not I wouldn't want their first inning to be runes, and not because I don't believe in runes. No, it's not because I don't believe in runes. It's because I want them to feel like they're making money, that they enjoy the experience. And I'm like, okay, you like it. There's also runes. It just feels like that wouldn't be my first port of call. If somebody wants to get into meme coins, I'm like, this is how you degen.
My sister is never buying a rune in her
I'm gonna be brutally
entire
honest,
life.
Clemente. I'm gonna be brutally honest here. First thing you do is you send her a drainer link. Just get her, just absolutely, just drop the drainer, take the money, and when she comes back, it's like, where the hell did my money go? You say, welcome to the big leagues, bucko, and walk away. All right, just get them, throw them into the fire, watch them burn, and if she comes back in 2 weeks and says, all right, round 2, then you give her the real tickers. All right, you gotta hold your feet to the fire.
But it's also you say anything against runes and people are like, you're mid-curving it, you hate it, blah, blah, blah. And it's just no, if you want somebody to enjoy a movie and they've never seen a movie, you'd probably pick Disney. You wouldn't be go watch Schindler's List or go watch Oppenheimer as the first ever movie that they've ever watched. And I feel like runes is that experience. It's a bit Oppenheimer. And it's not that there's nothing wrong with it. You just want them to have a good experience for the first time that they're degenning somewhere. And if they like it, then you introduce them to something which is a bit more technical.
Right. You got to get her in there. You got to introduce her to the ecosystem. But the bull case is also for runes that the UI gets significantly easier, that you look at 6 months and everything that you're seeing right now, this friction.
They've been telling us it's going to get easier for the last 6 months, Clemente. They told us Runes was going to make BRC20s way more tradable, way more liquid, a better experience. They're the exact same goddamn thing, except they get one less character every 3 months. What an innovative thing to make these as miserable as possible. I can't even put the stupid dot icon when I search up the damn name. You know, that's not even on my keyboard. I'm looking at the thing. There's no dot. Like this whole dude, Runes piss me off, dude. And
the
I
hated rally though, Easy. What about the hated rally?
Send them so much higher while I continue to make money on other places and not give a singular shit about them. Nothing. I lose zero sleep with Runes. I own Mr. Yen, Japanese businessman. Me and him, we're good friends. We shake hands. We're boys. All right. That's the only one I care about because it's fun. Other than that, I don't give a shit. All right. I don't care if Dog Go To Moon. Terrible name, dude. What a stupid name. Dog Go To Moon. Like, what, dude? This whole thing, 13 to 14 characters, is so stupid. It's so dumb, dude. Like, let me just pick a goddamn ticker, press the enter button, upload a picture, and let people make memes. All right? That's it. I'm so glad next month we get 12 characters. Oh, and 4 months later, we get 11. And in 2062, I can finally do a 2-character rune. Who, dude, Casey Rotemer, what the hell were you thinking? Sorry.
All right, I'm gonna end it on that.
And just to close this off, this whole conversation started off with us talking about ton on Telegram and how easy it is to buy it. And that was the whole point of like why Easy is saying that this is a really like this ton games and ton ticker has momentum. And then now we're saying that that's bullish for the ecosystem, but then we're telling, but then the commenters are saying we should tell our little sister about something which is really hard to get. And this is why I'm totally on Easy's page. I think Runes will make people a lot of money in this cycle, but it doesn't mean you have to spread your money everywhere and being everything. I think just pick your lane and make money in that lane, and you don't have to be everywhere at the same time.
Absolutely.
100%.
I agree.
Enjoy go buying. Rune go up and the price never go down with 67 semicolons. Great ticker name.
All right, I'm ending the show on this. This was fantastic, guys. One more reminder that we have a drop going live tomorrow, our Independence Day drop. Go celebrate the 4th of July with no better way other than our 2 t-shirts, Rough Rider and Freedom Fur, $40 a pop, 30% discount for holders, for Bodaga's holders, and a free shipping for all orders over $100. Let's go. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern. Go follow us.